Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today, well actually before I start, I've got to say a big thank you first to my friend Steve from A Watch Obsession, the Instagram page, for allowing me to review a few of his watches. And he's gave me this one, the Seiko Prospex King Turtle, the SRPE03. Now, I've heard people say that this is a little bit expensive for a turtle, being that it's a fraction over £500, but I think it looks premium. It's one of those watches, when I first saw it, I was never a big fan. I know that's sort of like heresy amongst Seiko guys, but I've never really liked Turtle, never been a big fan at all. But this, after having it for a week or two, I'm really impressed by it. I actually really do like it. It's a relatively big-ish watch by dimensions, not necessarily on the wrist, being that it's a 45mm case size here. It's also 13mm thick. It's 48mm across, lug to lug, sorry. So numbers, it would seem to be big, but when it's on my wrist, it doesn't actually feel that big at all. Let's face it, everything about it screams is this new dial. To me, it looks premium. Considering this is a £500, watch as such, I think that it really does look like a premium watch. And let's face it, that's aided simply by the use of a ceramic bezel insert, the sapphire crystal, and that dial. The waffle design dial, I think is really nice. It looks to be really well executed. You can't fault that at all. That's really, really nice. I like the way they've got the gilded second hand. Matches up with the diver's 200 at the bottom there. I say 200-meter diver, though I believe these have been tested down to 250 with still no problems. So it's a proper diver's watch. This sapphire crystal is nice. It's a flat sapphire looking through there. The minute and hour hands are your typical Seiko diver, full of lume, as are the hour markers, and yes, it glows like a torch at night. I'll drop a lume shot in now. The big sticking point for a lot of people is this magnifier. Now, I think it gives a premium look to the watch. I like the way that you can see the date a lot more clearly. It's, not everyone's going to like it, I agree, but you can remove this if needed. But I really do like it. I think it's a nice touch. And you can see when you look at the day date below there, and then when you put that magnifier over there, it just does a really good job on that. Let's face it, the other thing here is that sapphire crystal. This is one of these where a lot of people who buy turtles mod them automatically and put sapphire crystals and ceramic inserts on there, or maybe a different actual bezel ring. But this has kind of got all that covered for you. You don't really have to mod it. When we talk about that bezel ring, look at this. Superb, matching the waffle design, or the same design language used on the dial is also used on this bezel, and it really is beautifully machined all the way around. The only criticism I would have, it's quite slippery. It's not, it looks fantastic, but does it aid in actually rotating the bezel? Not much. It's actually quite smooth. Now, the bezel action, 120 click. It's okay. It's nothing really to rave on about. But unfortunately, and you know what I'm going to say, it doesn't line up properly. If I try and get it to line up, so it's just one shy, and then push back, and it doesn't quite line up. You can see it's a fraction off that way. A bit of a pain, but typical. It drives me mad sometimes. It's a bit of a shame that. The finishing on the case, as you can see, it's got this lovely radial brushwork, and it just looks really well executed what we've done there. Obviously the crown guards, the way the case is designed, you've got the lovely crown guards there. Obviously you have a screw down crown, unsigned crown that is, and it winds in pretty smooth really, to be fair. Then when you look from the side here, you have nice brushwork, polishing on the lower part of the case, so you can see all that. The case back is screwed in, as you'd expect. Now, this normally comes on a different rubber strap to this, but my friend Steve has fitted a Watch Gecko ISO diver, and very pliable, very soft, so can't fault that. The movement in this is the 4R36, so the standard 24 joule, 40 plus hours of power reserve, and this one actually seems to be running quite well. It's maybe +5, +6 seconds roughly, so it's not so bad for what it is. I think this just looks a premium watch. I really do think that front face with the sapphire and the crystal really does give it a more premium look. If I put it on my wrist now, just for a quick wrist check, I'm wearing a Zin U2 Black. Take this off. Quick size comparison, 44mm versus 45mm. Give you an idea of size. Now if I put this on, a tad bit easier off camera. He says, okay. And put the keeper in, and we're good. Out, there you go. So my wrist size is a fraction over 7 inches. So it doesn't sit too big at all. I think it looks quite nice. I say it wasn't a watch I really liked until I got to try this one, so I'm so happy I did. I can't really fault, I'm the only negatives I have with watch is obviously the bezel doesn't line up. It could be a bit more grip on that, the actual bezel itself, but it looks fantastic and I don't care. One criticism I would say is the Watch Gecko ISO diver strap. Now I've got, if I could possibly even put this on the last one and that's still okay, but if you've got a 6.5 inch wrist, you're going to struggle to actually get this on unless you're using these big ones there. It might be too long for you. But anyway, there you go. Let's take this off. He says, there we go. So that's my little review of the King Turtle. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember, stay safe out there and all the best. Bye.